Stacy Kick, your host for What's Hot, and we will not today.
Stacy, love you, baby.
What's hot? Thank you.
Come on, get burnt with me.
It's your girl Stacy Kick, your host for What's Hot, and today we are all still in quarantine, so I have a very special guest. I have Aliza. She is a COVID-19 survivor. Yes, she's fully recovered from the illness, and she's
virus.
She's gonna be talking to you guys a little bit about her experience. So first, can you just let everyone know like where you're from and like a little bit about yourself?
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name is Aliza. I am 24 years old. I am from New York, Westchester County specifically. Yeah.
Cool.
A little bit about myself.
Okay, so just to kind of get into everything, what pushed you to really, go get tested?
So honestly, this is like I tell this to everybody. I kind of, not that I regret getting tested, but I don't think I like needed to get tested.
Mm-hmm.
I only got tested because I was supposed to see my family on Friday, and I wasn't feeling well on Tuesday. I work out 5 times a week, so I'm in like pretty good shape. And I did a warm up of like 10 burpees and 10 squats, and in the middle of it, I was coughing crazy, bent over, like spitting up saliva. My chest felt like it was gonna explode. It was like this pain that I can't even describe, and I was like, this is bizarre.
Right.
Like, this doesn't happen to me when I work out. And I also like couldn't smell or taste, but that was new. Like the smell and tasting thing just came out recently, so that that wasn't a concern for me. I just thought I couldn't smell and taste because I had a sinus infection like 4 weeks prior, so I was like, maybe it's still lingering or something. I just wasn't feeling myself. I had a dry cough. I had 2 nights I was pretty achy, and I didn't have a documented fever, but it definitely felt like I had a fever. So the only reason really why I went to go get tested was because I was going to see my family. My parents are 60. My brother has asthma, and they were at our beach house. And so I was like, let's just play it safe, because God forbid I just gave it to, there's 6 people on beach house right now, like 6 other people.
Mm-hmm.
So I went and got tested and came out positive.
So what time frame was this? Like when? Early March? Like?
So this was March, Tuesday, March, I wish I had a calendar, 13th, maybe?
Okay, like around like mid-March?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Wow, okay. So like what did the test what was the process for testing? Because like you got tested in New York, right?
Right.
So, yeah.
So I live in an area like Westchester County. It's like, it was considered a hot spot.
Mm-hmm.
New Rochelle is a town, or it's a city, I guess, in Westchester. And it was a hot spot, a lot of cases. So they set up a testing center. Like they brought in the National Guard, and I don't know the people testing if they're part of the National Guard, but they brought in people, a lot of police officers to kind of make it an organized experience. But it was definitely frightening.
Mm-hmm.
So you should have an appointment, but it was so early with everything going on. I didn't have an appointment, and the appointments weren't mandatory at this time, but now they are. So I went without an appointment. The first, you cannot roll your windows down. You see cops, can't roll your windows down. Everyone's wearing masks. It just feels like you're in a movie. Like
Mm-hmm.
you pull up to somebody, National Coast Guard, he's speaking to you through the window, like, show your ID, have this out, have this ready, like, do not roll your window down. You have to stay in a line. Don't get out of your car, obviously. Definitely felt like a movie. Then when you pull up to the testing area, they're all wearing hazmat suits, and they swabbed my nose and my throat. And yeah, but I'm so thankful and appreciative of the National Guard and everyone who's been out there, because they've been risking their lives for us, which is beyond appreciated.
Yeah, definitely. And it actually does. It's funny you said it sounds like a movie, because that's what I was going to say when you said like the windows. Like it sounds like pretty intimidating.
I was like having a panic attack. I was like, what is going on? I felt like I was like in a country with like dictatorship. Like it was crazy. It was
it
bizarre.
A lot of people like getting tested when you went around that time?
No. Huh? No. And no, not a lot of people.
So what did like the actual like swabbing feel like? Because people, I seen like pictures on Twitter and people were like, "It's like I'm not getting back
to your brain."
Yeah,
it does feel like it's going to your brain. I will not lie to you. It's like wow. It's like all the way up there, and the throat is just kind of like when you get cultured for like strep throat. It's just one of those like culture. They hit the back of your throat, but the nose is definitely not pleasant. But it's not the worst thing in the world either.
Right. So what were your next steps, or what did they tell you? What do they say to you after you test positive?
So I got a call 3 days later from the CDC telling me that I tested positive and that I needed to quarantine myself. And there's literally nothing you can do besides quarantine yourself. And don't go to the hospital. If I'm feeling a little sicker, call my primary physician. But don't go to the hospital if I don't need to. And I think that is the misconception with this whole coronavirus, which is really upsetting to me. It's like people that I'm so lucky that I have a mild case, and I know so many other people that have mild cases. But people, just because they can't smell or can't taste, they're like, I need to go get tested. Then they're going to get tested, wasting a test, and we don't have an abundance of tests for a mild case, and there's nothing you can do besides stay home.
Right.
Like, there's no need anyone needs to be going to the hospital unless you are, like, obviously cannot breathe and have a fever that is ridiculously high or you're just extremely uncomfortable. But people are really having such bad anxiety for no reason because there's nothing you can do besides stay home. And there's more people living from this than dying. You just need to stay home. And
I think the coverage of it creates more of a panic.
And 100%.
Like you said, there are a lot of survivors. I saw a journalist, I can't think of her name, she tweeted that there are a lot of survivors from the case.
Right.
It's just you just hear more about the deaths and like results of that more than the people that are getting through it.
Right. And it's just so hard because every day, I'm sure you've seen it every day. It's like a new study of this, a new study of that. So we're all getting mixed signals. Mm-hmm. We're all getting mixed information. It's hard to know what's real and what's fake. And people are just really stressing about it, but there's truly nothing you can do because my mild symptoms may affect someone severely.
Right.
And so for right now, I'm 100% symptom free. The CDC called me though, because I had to get retested just to make sure. So they called me on 2 days ago and I got tested yesterday. My results came back presumptive positive. And when I looked further into the results, it said that nothing is detected, but it's borderline, that nothing is there's no corona in my system, but it's borderline. So I don't even know what that means. I called the lab. I'm like, what does that mean? I feel great, and then the lab people told me that meant that I still had it. So now I have to call the CDC or wait for them to call me back and see what's going on. But that just shows that because we don't really know, just because I'm having no symptoms and I've had it for 2.5 weeks, maybe even 3 weeks at this point, I don't know if I could be contagious because the information is so skewed. So that just shows people you need to stay home because I feel perfectly fine. If I wanted to go to the grocery store, I feel you know what? I'm fine. I could go to the grocery store. But in reality, I could be out at the grocery store, touch something, someone pick it up, and it affect them severely worse than it ever affected me, which would be obviously horrifying.
Right.
So it's crazy.
Wow. That's scary. That's actually scary. So
it's so scary. That's why it's I understand people are I'm fine. Let me just run to the grocery store. I've only been at my house and back to the grocery store, which is fine. I get it. If you need stuff, we're humans, Mm-hmm. It's hard to be locked up in a house all day when that's never been the case.
Mm-hmm.
But instead of feeling I need to do this, I need to do that, it's you may even have it and not even know,
right,
and be passing it on to people who are going to be severely affected by it, which is beyond scary.
Yeah, definitely. So do you, like, how long did you experience your symptoms? Like, can you kind of recap what they were? And then, like, after you got tested, how long do you think you experienced them?
So it was really, it was like breathing was a huge issue for me. Before I found out I had it, my best friend was over and she actually got tested too and was negative. But my best friend was over and we were making TikTok dances, which like shouldn't be that tiring. I mean, like it's like a pretty good workout. Yeah. It should not be like, because like I'm a savage. Yeah. I know that gets tiring after a while. But the way that I was tired it should never happen. My best friend Maggie, she was like, "You're being so dramatic. Like, why are you acting like this? Like, you're fine." Right. I was literally bent over, like almost crying in pain. My chest hurt so badly. But I was like, I need to get this good TikTok. I need to get it. But so definitely, like even walking up the stairs was exhausting. I would take naps a lot throughout the day. Had headaches on and off. I was sleeping 12 hours plus a day, maybe. Really like just breathing like throughout the day. Even if I was laying in my bed all day, I would still be like have to like constantly take deep breaths. I would wake up in the middle of the night with like doing that a lot. And what else happened? Those smell and taste, I mean, that's been going on forever and I still don't have it back 100%. I've read some articles that say like that it may take forever even if when you're negative, so I don't even know when that's gonna go away. What other symptoms did I have? That's pretty much it. The coughing and the taste and smell came first, and those probably lasted a week. Mm-hmm. I mean, well, the taste and smell are still here. It's been like 3 weeks. Coughing probably lasted a week, and the hard time breathing probably 5-6 days.
So with the coughing, one thing I know I was confused about, like when I was reading stuff, was what is the difference between like a dry cough and like a wet cough or like a normal cough?
So the dry cough, there's no phlegm or mucus coming up. Okay. It's just like a deep cough you feel like right here or here. You can like feel it's just dry. And then a wet cough is more phlegm is coming up.
Like, and you can feel the mucus.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh, wow. So when did you say you started feeling like more uppity, like back to yourself?
More uppity. I would say on Friday, because this past Thursday, I can't, honestly, I don't even know the days anymore.
It's a blur.
Like with this, just us being in the house all day. Not this past Thursday, the Thursday before.
Okay.
My friend came, we social distance, we were like 60 feet away from each other though. And we were just like running around, like just having fun. And my chest was feeling better, but it wasn't 100%. And then Friday I woke up and I worked out and I felt perfect.
Oh, that's good.
Yeah, perfect. Thursday I felt good too. It's just when I was running around a little bit, my chest felt a little tight.
Right.
But I also assumed that, I hadn't been working out for 2-3 weeks at that point.
Right. Wow. So, like, on the quarantine or self-isolation part of things, like, I know New York was, like, I seen videos of, like, New York City actually being, like, empty.
Yeah.
So, like, how have you gotten to witness any of that? Because I know you've been in the house a lot. But, like, what's the atmosphere like in New York?
Well, around my neighborhood, a lot of people are walking their dogs, just walking in general. Before I even knew I had corona, I had to drive my best friend into the city to get some things because she was going to be staying with me. She had an apartment in the city, and the city was, not good to be there, a shit show there.
Right.
So she went to go get some things, and it was empty. Like Saturday afternoon, empty, which just never happens in New York City.
Yeah.
It's been really dead, and it's like usually will take me to get to her apartment. Usually could take an hour, maybe even a little longer. It only took me like 40 minutes to get to her house.
Because it's like a dead zone. That's crazy, especially when
I know it's the best. I'm like, I'm hitting every green light. Like it's the most rewarding thing. It's like green light. Don't have to stop once. You just go up those avenues.
I guess that's one positive thing out of all of it. You can get to like where you want fast. That's crazy.
Exactly.
So like, after you got tested positive, I know you said your friend was supposed to be staying with you. So like, how has it been? Obviously, those plans changed, I'm guessing.
Right.
So like, how have you been feeling? I guess mentally, just kind of being in self isolation.
So, so right when I found out I was positive and she was negative, she left. And I was really nervous for my mental health. Like, I have anxiety. I've had it since 5th grade. I'm very open about it. So I was like a little anxious, but honestly, it was amazing to be by myself for 14 days. I'm such an extrovert, but I really have tendencies of introverts as well. I love to be alone, and it really wasn't hard for me. I had my mental, I don't know, I'm not even going to question it, but it wasn't hard because I kind of I feel like I looked at it in a very positive light. People pray for this. People pray to have a day off from work, you know?
Right.
People are like, please just give me a day off. Or people want to start learning a new language. People want to start painting more. People want to start doing new hobbies and activities. So the way I'm looking at it, instead of being like, holy shit, our world, not just our country, our whole entire world is falling apart right now, whatever, we're all going through it. I'm looking at it, it's like, this is the time to get stuff done that I've always wanted to get done. Like, I wanted to, even though I was really lazy, I'm going to be honest, I was just like laying in bed watching so many shows and movies, but I've been wanting to watch those for months that I haven't had the time to.
Right.
So I started painting as well. Like, I was just doing stuff that made me happy and kept me busy.
Oh, that's very, like, you come off as very optimistic anyway. So it's like, that's like a good point, because a lot of people, we do complain about not having time to do things, but like, this can be the time that you like pour back into yourself.
Exactly. Like, make it more of a positive experience instead of waking up every morning being like, this sucks. And I totally understand people with even people that don't struggle with mental health. Everyone's going through it. No, it sucks when you're forced to be home alone. No one wants to be forced to do anything. And I think that instead of looking at it as we're forced to do it, look at it as this is an opportunity.
Yeah, yeah. I think too, it's like, for some people, it's a big lifestyle change. Like, it's a flip in general, or people who had trips planned or things like that, and so birthdays. Like, that's a big deal. But also, people were, what you made me think about was like kind of conspiracy theories that were floating around. So you were saying how it's like the CDC called and they said you were asymptom positive, or
I got in, like, my results, they were online, like through the lab that tested me, and it said presumptive positive, which basically means like they're pre-guessing that I'm positive, because like I don't really understand. So then when I clicked on it to look into it furthermore, it basically said that I was like, it's either detected a little bit or not at all. So I don't know. So then I called the lab, and then she said it meant that I had it. So that's the other thing. It's like there's so much miscommunication with this.
Right. Does it give you the feeling that, like, even maybe the CDC or like the government and things don't really know what's going on? Like, do you get that vibe from any?
I always go back and forth with like all types of conspiracy theories from like literally every conspiracy theory there is. I always think about it and I always ponder it. I do think though that there's vaccines and they're holding out, I feel like, because I don't know. I know there has to be some type of something going on in the works, and hopefully it'll be released sooner rather than later.
See, my little theory, if it's even a conspiracy theory, certain things kind of make me feel like that if the government did do something to put it out there, it's something where I don't necessarily believe everyone is in on it, because I honestly, like, with all the mixed signals and things, I honestly believe, like, some people have no clue. Like, they're just telling the public different things to kind of, like, make it seem like they know stuff. But even with, like, the mask, at first they were saying, like, certain types of masks wouldn't work at all. Now they're saying, oh, it works. It works better than this mask, or la 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 la. Because at first it was only the N95 mask that worked. Now they're saying, oh, the regular surgical masks are fine.
I know. I think like that's the issue. It's like there's so much miscommunication. Like there's not one direct line. I mean, I guess the CDC, of course, but then it's like you see Bloomberg, you see CNN, you see Fox, you see this, you see that, you see WebMD, and it's, well, obviously they never listen to WebMD, but like, shit, it will tell you that you're
you about to die today.
Right, like you were supposed to die yesterday,
right.
What WebMD will say. But so just so hard because literally my best friend will text me the other day being like, a new article just came in that said like, if you tested positive, you can still be contagious for like 47 days. And then my mom called me the other day and she's like, I'm so excited. You can come down to the beach house. It said like only 2 to 11 days it can be like contagious. So I'm like, I'm just going to stay here until this dies out a little bit more, until my test comes back 100% negative and I'm not seeing anyone or doing anything. My best friend is with me now and she also got retested again the same time I did 2 days ago or yesterday, and she's negative. At this point she's been with me through like the worst of it, and she's been tested 3 times with me and always negative. So we've been definitely keeping our distance though.
That's interesting.
But she was alone, so she couldn't be alone.
That's interesting that she didn't contract it.
I know. We're all like, she needs to be a test study or something because it's crazy. She must be immune or.
So the last thing I kind of wanted to touch bases about was the celebrities. So a lot of celebrities, have come out saying they tested positive, a lot of athletes. And it was kind of a debate or dispute about them coming out saying, oh, they tested positive and they weren't showing any symptoms, but they still got tested. So, like, what is your, like, opinion on that? Because you kind of pointed out about saving tests and things like that.
I think it's unfair. Once tests become more, when we have an abundance of tests and it's available for everyone, who cares? Get tested. Everyone should get tested then, Then we'll all have clarity and understand who has it, who doesn't, and we'll be able to fix it. But for you to have no symptoms and just want to get tested because you are a celebrity is absurd to me. There are people, and that's why I feel so bad even like saying I got tested, because I mean, I just feel really upset about it, to be honest, but luckily in my area, there is a lot of tests, which hopefully they can like send out other places or something, because like they do have a lot of tests. But it's not fair that these celebrities and high profile people can snap their fingers, get a test, and it be done. If they have symptoms, I honestly, like, I don't even think anyone needs to be tested unless you're super, super sick or a health worker. Obviously, thank God for health workers, and I'm so appreciative of everything they do. Like, they deserve everything from every non-health worker person. Like, we deserve to give them food, celebrate them, everything. But I think that the people that need to be tested are people that are around, elderly people every day, taking care of them at homes, health workers, and that's it. And people with severe symptoms. Like, if we all just stay home, it won't be transmitted, and it will go away for the time being.
Right. Yeah. Because
it's not like there's no need that, oh, I have a dry cough, I need to go get tested, I'm going to start panicking. Like, okay, you have a dry cough, you may have corona, just relax. Stay in your house and just relax. Like, you're chilling. Like, you're literally chilling. Like, there's people out here that are dying. Yeah. Like, you do not need, like, that's why, like, every time during this whole process, I did not want anybody to feel bad for me. And, like, I always was like, this is fine. Like, it's mild symptoms, because I am fine. Right. Like, I do not want anybody to ever feel bad for me. Like, I had trouble breathing. Okay. I did it. I'm alive. I worked out yesterday and I felt great. Like, who cares? There's people dying, and you should not be freaking out when you're fine. Right.
Well, thank you so much for your time and for speaking with me. Continue to take care of yourself.
Of course, you too. Also, if anyone has questions or concerns or wants to talk about it, follow me on Instagram. I have a whole post about it on my highlights section, and you can also DM me, of course. My Instagram is LeezyK, LeezyKay. So please do not hesitate to reach out.
Thank you guys for watching. Make sure you subscribe to the What's Hot YouTube channel, and I will see you guys next time.